muscle cars and stuff. But so
Yeah.
that was one of the options on the menu was that Corvette.
Welcome to the pre-show, everybody. This is part of the show. We talk about what we're going to do in the show and just bullshit a little bit. Out on Twitch tonight. See how that goes.
We have a Twitch.
I know we have a Twitch.
We have a Twitch.
Anyway, we will talk Marvels. I didn't see it, but I know all the whatever. We will talk Loki. We'll talk some comic book news. Not much comic book news. And then we'll do some comics. We'll do the Transformers stuff. Now, do you see Taylor down there, Dave?
I do not see Taylor.
Okay, good. See, I can do like
now I see Taylor.
Now you see Taylor. But Dave was talking about how his dad went on one of these things. I'm glad you're here, Taylor, because you can chime in on this. Like where you basically rent a car and then they let you drive it around the speedway really, really fast, like 3 laps. Like a Porsche or something, you know.
Yeah, well, there was Porsche,
not just like a Subaru Outback or something, you know.
There was a Nissan there that went pretty damn fast too.
Nice.
But there was a Porsche GT4, there was a Porsche GT3, which that one seemed to be the most popular and was pretty much flat out flying.
So they were all driving around at the same time.
How much is it to do this?
This was about base $500 plus the insurance, so it was probably close to $700. But like I was telling Goblin, my brother, my mother, and I all chipped in for that.
Okay,
you have to.
Yeah, I mean that would be a lot for one person to spend.
Pull your party's money together to buy this cool thing.
Okay, so as far as cost effectiveness goes, no, I don't really think that's worth it. It's such a quick amount of time to spend, hundreds of dollars. I mean, you could get like a PS5 and like several games. And
there you go.
For like,
great,
hours and hours and hours. Like for
I know.
And you could get a driving game.
Yeah, but
no. I will say that like it does probably create like something that's hard to replicate in any other way, and I'm sure it is a lot of fun. I don't think I could justify spending that much on myself, but I also think that it's harmless enough if you have the money to spend. And if they enjoyed it, I'm not going to yuck their yum.
My dad did have a big old grin on his face when he got done.
I bet
he was rather tickled with himself.
Well, I'm glad, but
I mean,
I would have balked at the price point if
I would have gone to like Facebook Marketplace and said, "You're looking, ISO in search of somebody with a fast car."
Thanks for
I want to take you for a test drive.
We'll pay all tickets, or whatever. It'd be cheaper than $700, depending on how fast you're going. They got you, but still, yeah. It's a pre-show.
Yeah, that was the pre-show.
I mean, that was.
How are you, Taylor?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Welcome to the pre-show. No Andy tonight. He is actually watching Loki, which we will talk about. Taylor, did you have an opportunity to watch the Marvels this weekend?
I did.
So you and Dave can definitely go deep down into that in segment 1. That'll be fantastic.
Do we want to go spoilers?
Something to talk about. What?
Yeah, we'll do spoilers.
We can
of course.
All right.
Fuck 'em. If you don't want to spoil, ain't nobody watching right now anyway.
I mean,
we're on Twitch tonight. I
feel like there's nothing in there that's like a big spoiler, honestly. Anyway.
Well, the post-credit scene, I think, was...
The post-credit scene was my least favorite part.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Well, we will definitely talk about it, so... well, let me see. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's do the damn...
Mm-hmm.
Some sound bits from it, for real.
Fucking
For the intro. How dare we? How dare we? What is our problem?
Oh, we don't have a program long enough for that.
Yeah, we have to do several parts here.
That's a multi-part episode.
Welcome back. Another episode of this Geek and Comic Outright Geekery's Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show.
Homer Taylor, aka David. I started rewatching the Orville, so no new Star Trek this week because Lower Decks finale, which was beautiful season, lovely season. But yeah, the Orville.
The Orville is, awesome. I mean, before Star Trek had its little renaissance that we're going through right now, the Orville was probably the best thing for a Star Trek fan to watch for a good while.
I think Orville was kind of proof of concept. for a lot of the stuff that Paramount was maybe not trying to do, but maybe like on the border of doing, they weren't just given all of these ideas.
There was still an audience for that type of show.
And you could be funny and you could be nostalgic, in all the right ways.
They are, with the current crop of Star Trek, they are being very experimental with some stuff.
It's a lot like Galaxy Quest in that, like, it's busting Star Trek's chops, but from like a place of love,
Oh yeah, dude, it's definitely MacFarlane, isn't it Seth MacFarlane? And that's
it's Seth MacFarlane.
In Orville, yeah.
He was on an episode of Star Trek. It was a later Enterprise season episode, so nobody gave a fuck. But yeah, he's a huge fan. Yeah. Joins other folks Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine was on.
Yeah, he was one of those aliens in.
No, he was a lower deck officer on Voyager. A lower deck crewman on Voyager.
But he was also in as one of the Sorna in it.
Oh, really?
Correct? Yes.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Well, moving on. The Marvels. I did not see it. I know all the spoilers, though, because, that's just the kind of guy I am. I heard Miss Marvel steals the fucking show.
Oh, yeah. She is a real treasure in this movie. So, yeah, if you're coming at this, if you enjoyed Miss Marvel, you'll definitely enjoy this because they have a lot of elements. Like, her family shows up a lot in it.
Nice.
She herself. It's just fun watching her be, a fangirl. It was...
Now, it did have this Freaky Friday sort of element to it as well. Right.
Yeah. I would
to some extent. Well, they didn't switch minds; they swapped positions.
Right.
So it's a little different, but
they did end
powers
at
the
beginning.
No, they never swapped.
No, okay.
Every time they used their powers, they swapped
because their powers were kind of, in a way, similar.
Okay.
And they were quantum entanglement is what it was.
They also all happen to I guess there is an astonishing coincidence that we need at the beginning where they all happen to be interacting with one link of this chain that's the bad guys plot, all at the same time. That doesn't really matter. It's fine. But but the movie's a lot of fun. I liked the fight scene where they're all swapping positions constantly. That was a really fun inventive.
Oh, rad! Fun
scene.
Choreography based on this.
This. Yeah, and the first one, they're all in different parts of the galaxy, so it's
really wild.
Yeah, it's really disorienting, and they be popping up, and they start to get their handle on. They also apparently realize that they need to kind of converge. So for a lot of the fight, they're getting closer and closer together to make it less of a problem.
Traveling through the galaxy to get closer together.
Yeah, those warp gates from Guardians are a big part of this plot. So yeah, they.
Okay, all right, that's cool. I like those. I think those are fun little concepts.
Just that they had to, when they were like I said, they're the theory of quantum entanglement. Their powers
right.
Similar, or similarly based. Origin powers.
That's wild.
Magnetic was it? It's electromagnetic powers.
All based off of light in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But this had this movie had consequences fallout from the first Captain Marvel movie because apparently
Ronin.
I forget that Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. And we see the fallout.
Oh, okay.
We see the fallout from
Captain Marvel is 60 years old in the MCU here. She just hasn't aged since she got her powers, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
But she went and she killed the Supreme Intelligence, and it was probably could have been its own movie and another crack at the MCU here, but they decided just to let it be part of Carol's backstory for this movie, and I think that's fine.
Okay.
This movie was a lot of fun. I also enjoyed the set piece where they went to the musical planet for a little while.
Oh, what?
The
part of I read the spoilers were you lying about? You seem
you're surprised by every fucking
about the inhabitants. The inhabitants of this planet basically converse through song.
Oh my gosh, that sounds dope. No, I've read half a dozen articles.
And Ms. Marvel was having a blast on this planet.
That sounds great.
Yes, they even got Captain Marvel singing, and she had a Disney princess dress and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, she's an official Disney princess now.
Yeah, I guess. So.
Yeah, she is.
She was the princess of the planet.
Yeah.
And
I did read that, but I did not. I must have missed the part where everyone was singing.
I feel like that's
awesome.
That's burying the lead. I feel like that's the most distinguishable thing about the planet there.
Yeah.
whatever.
So, all right. So, all's well that ends well. They beat the bad guy. Pretty boilerplate MCU movie,
Sure.
in those contexts. There's no like weird.
This was a pretty middle of the road, like this wasn't one of the standout MCU villains, but it's fine. She was there to serve a purpose. She was there to give them someone to punch.
There are no standout MCU villains, at least not anymore.
You idiot! Of course there are. There's Killmonger. There's Thanos. There's Loki. Ugh.
Yeah, we've
we'll talk about Loki later. Loki is no longer a villain, definitely. Killmonger is
the Mandarin was pretty good, I guess, if we're going for something more recent.
Yeah, he was okay. But yeah, definitely. So, all right, back to the end for the post-credit scene, where it sort of precipitates that they're getting junted now through different universes, right?
Well, the bad guys plan to use these gateways to steal resources and shit. Apparently, that strained these breaks in space-time so much that yes, it caused an incursion. Well, they didn't call it an incursion. There wasn't two Earths crashing together, but yes, it caused a rip into another dimension.
Okay.
And she never was called that, but Photon was charged up with enough power to close the rift, but she got sealed on the other side.
Yeah,
and that's where the rift. And she's in the hospital. Her mom shows up and is binary.
Alternate dimension mom is binary, and Kelsey Grammer is back as Beast.
Frasier Beast is back.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of lackluster. They spoiled it. I still have that video. I don't think I even need to play it. Oh no, I don't have it anymore.
The better cameo I thought
a whole lot.
Well, the better cameo I thought was at the very end of the movie before they started rolling the credits, where Kamala is going to apparently recruit either the Champions or the Young Avengers. I'm not sure what name they're going to go.
Yeah,
with.
Kate.
Yeah, I would go with.
She talked to Kate Bishop, and I did like the fact that
was a lot of fun. I like seeing seeing Kate show up.
That was a lot of fun interaction because it is two different teams essentially,
and they both have they both have energy that kind of feeds off each other pretty well. They both have kind of the fan, the elevated fan energy, going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the X-Men thing. I really don't want that to be the way that they introduce the X-Men.
They've introduced mutants already. Okay?
They have. So
yeah, there is absolutely no way to get X-Men and the Fantastic Four, for that matter, into the current MCU without them leaning hard into, and we're going to mention it at the end of the news segment, leaning harder into these different timelines and universes, and
there are other ways.
They're already there.
Need to do that because
know.
Dude. Okay, so the Fantastic Four, I would not like that, but that's better than the X-Men because the whole fucking point of the X-Men is that they are just people who are born different. If you bring them in and they're invading aliens from another dimension, that undercuts the entire metaphor of the X-Men.
Right.
The whole point is supposed to be that they're not really all that different from us after all. But if they are in fact interdimensional invaders,
that's not really what I mean. There is going to be that angle to it, I'm sure.
Well, they'll call them interdimensional invaders, even if they're not doing anything.
If they follow Hickman's Secret Wars thing, but I'm thinking there's going to be more of an angle where we had this thing known as the Sacred Timeline. Okay, we have what we'll talk about later with Loki, and if that's something that needs to be dealt with even more, like at the end of Quantumania, when we see all these Kangs who are at work, it is possible that we can still see, and they're setting it up here in the end of the Marvels, that there's going to have to be some communication, some workaround throughout all of these multiverses. We know that incursions are going to happen. And at the end of it all, we can still have just one main universe that is completely reset with the mutants in there, with the Fantastic Four in there, with even a new Iron Man in there. You know what I mean?
If they're in universe, they've come from another dimension. That's my least favorite option. If this is a retcon punch where somebody goes and they wobble around Loki's universe threads and now the X-Men were totally here the whole time, then that's better, but I still don't like that. Honestly, I would prefer if it's just mutants have been here the whole time, we just never mentioned it.
And Professor X has been wiping people's brains and shit like that.
I don't fucking care. Just come up.
I get it.
They never mentioned
understand.
it. It never came up. They were here the whole time. We just weren't talking about them.
You know, people are gonna hate that.
No, they already did this in the MCU
because
with the Eternals.
They didn't use X-Men early on because of studio politics. That's not their fault.
I know. I hate that, dude. I wish that.
In a perfect world, I wish the audience was mature enough just to be like, okay, we understand. Let's roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get that that's probably not realistic.
I mean, if you think about it, it works completely opposite in the other direction. If they really hate a fucking thing, it's okay that they never pop up again, like the Inhumans. The Inhumans is still, fuck you, technically part of the MCU.
People are still bitching about that stinking, like, celestial statue not showing up
from
again.
the Eternals. No one's mentioned that? Dude, no one mentioned Stonehenge any other day either. What are you talking about? It's just a monument now. Aliens and shit are visiting.
People are also bitching about White Vision showing up. Like, where would have been appropriate for him to show up? What has come out since WandaVision? Does it make sense that Vision would be there?
I mean, what are they saying? Oh, no one's reported White Vision. Maybe 1,000 people have reported White Vision, but who gives a shit? I mean,
we're not watching fucking CNN in the MCU. We don't know if people are talking about it.
Yeah, right. Maybe they are talking about it all the damn time. There's no end. So rate Marvel's mid-tier, low-tier, high-tier, full MCU.
Mid-tier.
Yeah, middle of the road.
That's what I'm hearing. Lowest opening of any MCU movie ever, which I think has no real, isn't defining this movie at all.
It's a lot of fun. I liked it a lot, but if we're going to be perfectly honest, there's a contingent of limp dick incels who cannot stand the idea.
For sure.
Yes,
I think that's a part of it for sure.
By 3 women, 2 of whom are minority.
Movies are down overall.
That's also true.
Blockbusters are even down overall. They can't all be Barbieheimer. You know what I mean?
I mean, Barbie had a huge ass opening, but that's the first, I think, billion-dollar movie we've had since the pandemic. Or I guess Spider-Man did.
Super Mario Brothers, I think, was.
Oh, you're right. It did.
Yeah. But anyway, they had big promotion around that. In the Marvels, there was no actors being able to promote because of the strike. There's a lot of things I think that went into this not being as successful. I think people are also, and I hate to say this, they're kind of getting bored on superhero movies to one extent or another. You know what I mean?
I mean, these movies are still making, enough money to justify making them. But yes, we are.
100.
These things have been coming out for over 15 years now.
Longer than that.
So,
MCU.
Just the MCU. It's been 15 years now. I remember that was 2008, I think, when that first came out.
I'm going back to Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is I'm just kidding. Let's do news.
Yeah.
Let's do some news. Howard it only made $5 million, actually. All right, where are we at? All right, Dawn of DC. All right, we got more Dawn of DC news. Let's go through the timeline. If you remember, we got this, for the 2023 sort of event with Night Terrors on there. Did we even get that Hawkman? No, that was a Hawk Girl book, I think, that we got. We still didn't get Detective Chimp with the Dr. Fate helmet. I don't think we've gotten that. So this was before that, where they were touting the return of the JL. This is like some CSI shit that I found on the internet.
Yeah.
Lighten up the background.
Was that supposed to be this year? Because they definitely didn't return the JL.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Because
there's still like a month and a half left.
Then it changed to this. All right, with Night Terrors, and then the Gotham War with the return of the JL, just like nowhere in sight now. So we got a new one of these this week, and it's this one. All right, so it keeps, if you look, it keeps flowing down like the tentacle, the Brainiac looking tentacle, right? And it's going down. Then we have Lazarus Planet, which was just okay, man. Night Terrors, which was it was really bad.
It was just such a speed bump for a lot of books,
in more ways than one. And then the Gotham War, which, I mean, I read Batman this week. The Fallout has been, pretty cool. So
I enjoyed Batman this week. We can talk about that later. But
and then Titans Beast World, which I'm kind of looking forward to. It is Tom Taylor, getting in there. But something evil is coming. And what from the press release from DC, it's going to be the Trinity of Evil. So Titans, Beast World, and other key storylines to have major consequences in 2024. Beast Boy is going to lose control of his powers, unleashing them across the DC universe, and a trinity of evil waits in the shadows to capitalize on the chaos. So they're going to keep it going. They were really kind of hush-hush about exactly what, this big evil thing is going to be. Obviously, why would they, let everybody know? But, oh, shit, sorry. Amanda Waller is going to have a key role in the Beast World event. The Wall. They're calling her the Wall, which I fucking hate. Please don't call her that. Okay? Please don't call her the Wall. We'll seize this opportunity to rid humanity of metahumans once and for all. Okay?
I mean, I don't mind them calling her the Wall, like, in Superman, in the universe. Sorry. I don't mind them calling her the Wall, like, in universe, I don't want as a nickname, but they shouldn't use it like a code name,
Than to call her the Wall at all. Oh, yeah, it shouldn't be a code name. No. All right, so she's going to start her scheming in Action 1060 and Beast World Tour Metropolis #1, which sounds like such a waste of freaking time as a tie-in book. But now I really kind of want to read it. Those both go on sale December 12th. She's going to recruit superheroes and supervillains for a new Task Force X with the aka Dreamer, Nia Nal, the Dreamer. She's going to play a vital role. We don't know what that role is. So this new team is going to be in a new series called Suicide Squad Dream Team that launches in March. Now, they didn't even say who was writing or drawing this damn book, which I think is really weird. Okay. But hey, new Suicide Squad, getting into the Trinity of Evil. I'm all about it. So Superman Superstars, the House of Brainiac story, that's also going to be like a huge deal on our way to get to this Trinity of Evil. Okay. The House of Brainiac story. That looks okay. I think Lobo is going to show up in that. Brainiac, the Green Lanterns. It looks like it's going to be like a pretty big deal. And then in December, Batman #140, Mind Bomb, which actually started this week in 139. The Dark Knight will face his most brutal battle with the Joker, which started. That was actually really fun to see the Joker this week. But Sur-En-Ar will finally reveal his master plan and his relentless pursuit of eradicating all crime. So Trinity of Evil, that's it. That's all we know right now. Oh, here's the Batman shit. But yeah, I'm not even really sure what to think about this, except for Sur-En-Ar. He sounds like he'd be perfect for some kind of Waller Trinity of Evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All on his own now, without the Bat family. Waller, the Wall, wants to get rid of just all the metahumans and shit. Who better than Batman's weird second alter ego? Maybe his third. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't know. So yeah, we'll have more.
That could be a lot of fun.
It could.
The Batman stuff definitely got off to a good start this week.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we can talk more about that later. But
I loved it. But I really like how DC is sort of doing this. They did most of this shit panned out. The Wonder Woman, the Flash, the Titans, definitely that Cyborg book.
Yeah, the Cyborg book. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this, the Detective Chimp shit didn't pan out. The JL shit didn't pan out. But if there is a Trinity of Evil, if the Titans and this Beast World thing really is something that's gonna, be overwhelming for the Titans, and Amanda Waller starts doing what she does, I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Maybe it will take the Justice League getting back together to fuck up the evil guys. I don't know. Looks cool. I'm actually going to leave this one in here just in case. So, all right. We only got a couple things in news because I really wanted to get into Loki. But Marvel reveals the Ultimate Green Goblin in new Ultimate Spider-Man #2 cover. It looks great. I like the design. It's sort of like an Iron Man looking design.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that was like an Iron Man at first, which makes the glider kind of redundant. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, I love seeing older Peter Parker here, all bearded out and working. I think that's cool. I'm really interested in seeing Hickman's take on that. But who is this new Green Goblin? Because we know, oh shit, my banner's in the way. Because we know that Norman Osborn died in the attack on New York from I don't even know who the hell they are, but on Thor and Iron Lad and all them. So Who's it going to be?
I don't know. I guess we would assume someone maybe like Stark adjacent, if that is Iron Man armor.
That's a good call. It might be. I think we have to know more about issue number 1. I'm sure at the end of issue 1 we will get the reveal of who is, the Goblin, or at least some hints. Cannot wait to see who it is. I'm so excited to see who it is.
I mean, yeah, since it's Hickman writing it, I'm definitely excited to read it regardless. But yeah, this could be a fun little reveal, hopefully.
Yeah. All right, Loki. We're finishing up. Episode 6, Glorious Purpose. We'll talk about the episode, and then we'll talk about the whole series as well. But Loki time slips to the moment before the temporal loom's explosion. The loom always fails to accommodate the infinite branches, and it was really fun. It was kind of like this weird Groundhog Day sort of thing.
Yeah.
Where Loki just kept jumping time to keep trying over and over and over again. So he also tries to go back to where they killed He Who Remains, who this scene happened all the way back at the finale of season 1, and that doesn't really work either. I really liked He Who Remains was trying to get Loki to kill Sylvie, and that would have stopped it, and it would have.
It would have, yeah. That would have been an out for him.
It was kind of like he was choosing to not to be the villain. Which I think worked with the rest of the episode and the series overall, and we'll get to that. So,
yeah.
He replaces Timely. Loki destroys the loom, magically rejuvenates the 9 timelines, and rearranges them into a tree-like structure, committing himself to oversee the branches alone at the end of time. I've got all this shit. He's literally jumping in there. A la the way Thor turned on that sun that one time, that forge that one time. These motherfuckers are way more powerful than,
Yeah.
Really show, man.
This was quite a flex. I mean, he basically built ether seal there at the end. But I also love the little details, like his crown is made out of that same material that Kang's Citadel was made out of, or sorry, He Who Remains Citadel was made out of. And just
exactly the little tiny details.
Episode was brilliant.
It was really fun, dude.
This is maybe the best single episode of one of these MCU shows that they have done so far.
I tend to agree, dude. I had such a great time with this episode because I was like, what the hell are they going to do? There was I'll be honest, there was a moment part of the way through where I was like, man, this is just way too much sort of Groundhog Day, man. What are they finally going to do? And then just Loki saying, no, he has that conversation with Mobius. And then he's like, well, no, I could be the hero. You know what I mean? I can finally do it and live up to a legacy that, honestly, if you look back at the history of Loki in the MCU, it's not really his legacy. You know what I mean? He took on a legacy to have power and to be all of these things that were so bad. But in doing that, he got a drive. And then he's like, well, if I apply that drive in another direction, I can save all of fucking creation. You know what I mean? And isn't even a sacrifice. He's still there. They showed him at the end,
yeah, but he's kind of consigned himself to be miserable. He's
I
was talking to my brother about it, and he had a good way of putting it. He's the king of everything, but also the king to no one.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has this lonely vigil at the end of time, and that's just all that his life is now, and that's so sad. And that really makes it very poignant. I mean, this was a great culmination of 2 entire seasons of Loki's character arc. That first season was all about him kind of recognizing himself, he gets to the end where all these different Lokis are just murdering and scheming and betraying each other to rule over a mud pit, basically.
Yeah.
And he's kind of no, I need to change. And here, though, he does end up getting that throne that he thought he wanted way back at the beginning of the series, way back at the beginning of his character arc, way back in Thor, from over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And he got a throne. He got a bigger throne than he had imagined.
Yeah.
But it was an act of sacrifice for him to take it. Yeah.
But it's lonely at the top now.
It is. He's
and especially
himself to isolation and misery,
And especially since they were sort of driving the whole season about these relationships and these friendships, and how Loki thought I made friends, you know what I mean? And he was surprised at that. And it's just this growth of a character. I just thought it was, dude, just really cool. Timely does not get the handbook in 1863. We don't know what impact that's going to have. Miss Minutes is okay now. Renslayer awakens in the void, and then Mobius
she's
retires.
in Loki's mud pit there,
Yeah, and then Mobius retires from the TVA, and we're not sure what he's going to do. So they do leave this open for maybe not quite a season 3, but because I'm not sure what the hell they would do. Just have the same thing. Oh, there's another problem with the timelines. But they could definitely have these motherfuckers show up in other things.
Yeah, I mean, they're all still in play. I've seen people speculate that, like, if we do see Loki again, it might be as, like, Avenger Prime, like he was in Jason Aaron's run.
Yes.
Which that would be a cool place for him to show up. Like, if he shows up in Avengers Forever and he's, like, recruiting a multiversal Avengers to fight Kang or whatever.
That would be dope.
That would be dope as hell, yeah. But yeah, like Sylvie gets her freedom. Mobius gets to, go have his jet ski.
Well, here's another thing about Sylvie, which I was going to touch on. Like, him meeting Sylvie is such an important part of everything because he meets all of these other Lokis and they're all douchebags with nothing going on. But Sylvie is trying to be a hero in like her own sort of villainous way. And is like another example. Like everybody who he meets in all of this is like an example to him to, like Ouroboros, right? The nerd. Okay. And it's very appropriate that he's the newest best character on this season. But like he goes back in time like 100 years or something to learn all the science that Ouroboros has done in his whole lifetime, And I loved that part of it. I don't know. And Ouroboros is actually like the snake eating its tail.
Yeah.
And that's basically what this season did. You know what I mean? And not in a bad way.
No.
But it is very cyclical.
Yeah, there's it does a good job playing with like these time paradoxes and like just almost like self-fulfilling prophecies and like people being destined to do things in spite of their like own best interest, and shit like that.
Their nature, overcoming your nature.
I also really enjoyed the beginning of the episode where it's like, his groundhogging his way and like he gets the thing is like, yes, I did it, I succeeded, and then it's like, oh, but it doesn't matter because like what we were trying to do, it turns out is impossible.
Yeah, it was never going to work anyway because Timely is a douchebag.
Yeah, and then pivoting over to him like dealing with He Who Remains, I was really thrilled with that. That when he first showed up at the end of the previous season, that was such a standout moment, and it was really cool to see that version of Kang show up again, which is definitely my favorite version of Kang so far.
And I heard some people say, well, this makes the whole, season 1 finale, it just makes it so unimportant because He Who Remains knew what was going to happen. And I'm like, no,
but he defied him.
That makes it
the exact
better.
Opposite. Yeah. Like Loki ultimately found a way to defy what He Who Remains wanted.
But only because He Who Remains let him get the knowledge to be able to do it.
But He Who Remains thought he had him in a box. He thought that the only way out for you is to save me because the temporal loom is always going to blow up. And it did. Loki went back to a point in time where He Who Remains is dead. And he instead usurped him. Which I will say that is something that does kind of push things a little for me. Where it's like, how is Loki able to do this? Like, how is he able to
I have a theory about that. Okay, like I said,
materialize the timelines,
Like I said, with Thor doing just the most amazing shit ever. Okay, that there is really untapped potential in these Asgardians, despite the fact that Loki technically is not an Asgardian, but there's some sort of untapped potential there that. I don't know. He's a superhero, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
how does anybody do anything?
Stories here
how does anybody do anything that they do?
So he embraces being a god of stories, and that does kind of mean that this is now his purview, his realm.
Yeah,
he's going to maintain all the stories of everything now,
and that so works for me in so many ways that I honestly don't care if we see any of these characters.
I mean, yes, honestly, like how he managed to pull this off doesn't matter because the moment is such an awesome one. Him making sort of the ultimate sacrifice here to get what he thought he wanted, but it turns out he didn't.
Yeah, he just wanted to save everybody. Really, he just wanted to save his friends. And
no, it's an interesting, notable exception that no, Renslayer can go fuck herself. She's trapped there at the she's about to get eaten by Alioth.
Yeah, and who knows? She could come back too. Other folks have made it out of there.
Maybe they didn't show her die, but she seems like she's in a pretty hopeless situation. But I don't know. We can see.
Yeah, I like that they left everything sort of open ended, and I'm sure there's a plan here, dude. There's no way you leave Loki, who's one of the best characters for the entire MCU, probably one of the most tenured, in the whole franchise. He's been in more movies, been there longer. I just think there's still a whole lot more potential to use this guy to sell movies, to sell more shows.
My guess is that unless outside circumstances force them to change, that yes, we will see in the Kang Dynasty, the Avengers are fucked. But then Loki shows up to oppose, the Kang variants.
I think it would have to be more than that. If Loki's role right now is kind of he's sort of like the babysitter of the entire multiverse.
Yeah, and that's what I think it will be, is an Avengers Prime.
Deal.
I am recruiting the multiversal Avengers to fight back.
God, that would be fucking sweet.
That being said,
dude, holy shit, that'd be so cool.
If this was the end of Loki's story, I think it's a good one though.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good one.
It's tragic and it's heartbreaking, but it's poignant,
If he just becomes a character like the Watcher now and doesn't have any impact at all on anything, I'd still be okay with it though. So yeah, Loki season 2 in terms of MCU TV. Yeah, I'm putting it really close to the top, dude.
Yeah,
maybe my second favorite.
Honestly,
and this season itself I just had such a great time, dude.
I had a lot of fun with it, but the season as a whole, the first 5 episodes, I didn't think were as good as Loki season 1.
Oh yeah, okay. No, that's fair.
But if it builds up to this episode 6 to Glorious Purpose, and that is, if that's the road we had to get here, it's so totally worth it. This is maybe.
Yeah, I almost want to watch it all again. You know, to get that full perspective. Yeah,
I'd have to sit back and let it digest for a little bit. At the moment, I still want to say that WandaVision is my favorite MCU show, but this makes a strong fucking case. And this episode, the season finales for Loki, both of them are phenomenal, and this one is
amazing, dude. Yeah, just amazing. All right, cool. Let's do food.
Yummy.
Real quick one. All right, we had all right. First, we have a news update. Dave does have some dill pickle ice cream. I repeat, Dave does have.
Oh, Dave, we're kidding when we tell you have to go eat these, right?
But I found it today.
He found it, but he has not tried it.
I have not had it yet.
So we will get an update on that.
I did get it. I did find some today.
At some freaking point.
I want to do it for us if I was in your shoes.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. So anyway, actual food news this week. Over at Firehouse Subs, they have a Thanksgiving turkey sub. We thought we were lonely with the DiGiorno's Thanksgiving pizza last week. Carved turkey breast, stuffing, sweetened or cranberry sauce, and mayo. And mayo, you gotta have mayo. It's a turkey sandwich. Served on a hot, on a choice of freshly toasted white or wheat. Oh yeah, go for the wheat.
Firehouse Subs are actually pretty good. So
you know how much this cost? $10.
That's fine.
I mean, Firehouse Subs is a fine establishment, but
this is nasty.
I don't know. I think that
this is nasty.
I don't think that the cranberry and the mayo should intermingle.
You can always ask for it to be, no mayo.
Well, if you're changing the damn sandwich,
exactly. If you're changing it.
But okay,
it's
so
not this.
I don't think this is as sad as the DiGiorno turkey thing we saw last week.
Still bad.
Very unappealing, yeah.
I would never get this, and I would never spend $10 on a fucking
sandwich. I might get that. I might try to do that this Thursday.
Well, great. Take
Dave's
a picture.
Putting in all the work, yeah.
He is. That's expensive. All right, so
my stomach will thank my stomach.
Heinz reveals new pickle ketchup. It's going to go on sale.
Didn't we already have something called relish?
That's not pickle.
This
is like pickle flavored ketchup.
Pickle juice and ketchup is what I assume this is, but
I would assume the same.
I don't like the taste of pickle, but for people who do, I don't think this is a bad idea.
I'm on the fence with this one. I don't mind the taste of pickle at all, but Why not just what would you use this with? I know they have a cheeseburger back there. If you
look,
the fucking burger has a pickle on it.
Yeah. Well, then I guess to be fair, it also has tomatoes on it.
Oh, well, that's different though. Come on, ketchup isn't. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Tasted this, I guess I can't imagine the pickle and the pickle juice are adding different flavors the way tomatoes and ketchup would add different flavors.
Yeah.
So I can see your point, but I guess.
I don't know. I just don't know what you'd eat.
Well, I know there's such a thing as pickle fries.
Yeah, if you're putting the pickle juice in the ketchup, I don't think you need to add pickles to the burger. Yeah.
Thank you. Are you going to put it on like a hot dog?
You can put it on a hot dog. I mean, you can put it on anything where like you would have pickles and ketchup together in any way.
Like not French fries though, right?
I wouldn't want pickle on French fries, so no, I wouldn't.
Put ketchup on eggs?
There is such a thing as pickle fries.
Now, what is that? What are you talking about?
There are like fried pickles.
Okay, so that's different. That's not
fried pickles, and then Sonic has a pickled fry, which is basically.
Oh, you're talking about like fried pickles?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Well, this would be the equivalent of like putting ketchup and pickle juice on like potato French fries.
Yeah. I don't know. Now
so I think this is okay with burgers and hot dogs. This is okay with burgers and hot dogs, but I can't think of many other situations where you'd want to use this.
I don't know.
I would have wanted it anyway because I don't like pickle.
Yeah, if I find some, I will pick it up.
Send it to David.
Let's do a moment. Let's do the short moment. This one really quick. TF number 2 come out. Danny Warren Johnson, of course. The issue opens with Prime, and this is so fucking ironic. Like marveling at how awesome this world is, and then it proceeds to step on a fucking deer and murder it.
That was such a brutal way to start it.
So it's so apropos though for how the Autobots and the Decepticons kind of do have to, because he says in here, I just hop and clomp around, I'm way too big for
They did something with it. It wasn't just a shock value scene. I thought that it was. Go ahead.
It also demonstrates the difference between how the Autobots and the Decepticons value life.
It does.
Yeah, they get a lot of mileage out of this moment where, like, yes, he is. It is kind of giving us a good insight. Like, hey, where I'm from, everything's made out of metal, and you don't have to worry about this kind of shit. You guys are like so flimsy here, and I'm gonna have to be really careful. And yeah, that's an excellent point, Dave. That like Starscream's like reveling in his ability to squish these things,
squish
like bugs.
People. I think I have
and
that.
And it does show. It shows a lot with he literally smashes that one guy like a bug, and Optimus does really show a lot of contrast here. Where it's like I feel terrible that I accidentally hurt something,
Yeah, and it's almost like a learning moment. It's almost like a learning moment for Prime 2, and Cliff Jumper for that matter with the introductions, but. It's ignorance that comes out as racism. You know what I mean? Like Cliff Jumper literally calls this kid like a rat.
Vermin.
Yeah, a little vermin or whatever. But it's interesting that Daniel Warren Johnson is going to give us enough room. And one of my issues with this series so far is it is kind of a slow burn, but it's fine. The action is still ramped up.
It's fine for us to take more than 2 issues for things to wrap it up.
Yeah, for sure. But Daniel Warren Johnson is taking his time. He's letting these relationships breathe. And it's not just a relationship between a single Cybertronian and a single human. Only that, even though that is there, it's about how these robots or these aliens are going to fit into the overall Energon universe. And then we get to Duke here, who's playing Rio. Thanks, Top Gun, for that term. And Starscream just goes and fucks him up. But Duke, foreshadowing.
Duke used to be a real badass here. That was a cool way to introduce
Duke comes off as a bad motherfucker in this issue, dude. And it's like 1.5 pages. He comes off as just, as awesome. I cannot wait for that series.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that, for his own series to come out here now.
Yeah. I love this right here. Daniel Warren Johnson is inspired with his art here. You know what I mean? He just is. It's well done.
One of the things I'm sure that's trickiest when we're doing this in comics is just getting the transformation. And he is doing a good job showing, like, with mechanical precision, like the mid-transformation scenes. So he's doing a very good job with that.
This is one of the things I was worried about, him getting these little subtle nuances of these characters and of this universe. And he's nailing it, dude. He is nailing it.
It definitely beats like where they're in their robot form and they slowly like over the course of the single panel transform into the vehicle.
Now, I don't mind those either. Those
I
little
don't like
transition
those
panels. I don't mind those, but I'm a diehard Transformers fan. You know, I've seen some really, really, really good ones. But no, I tend to agree with you. Stick to what your strengths are, and Danny Warren Johnson is doing great. I think he actually has one over here with Starscream transforming.
It was on the
not.
previous one. There was one with Starscream.
Maybe that was last issue.
No, there was one with Starscream here. You showed it before, actually. Not there.
Well, I'm looking, man.
There it is.
Oh, see, like right here.
Yeah.
Right here, when he's on that panel close to the bottom with Soundwave. That's also a really unique way to do it, because it is not this thing that Dave was talking about, where on the same panel it's like 4 or 5 images in different stages of transforming.
No, I mean, I feel like it's a good way
snapshot.
Yeah, it's a good. That's exactly what to say. It is a good kind of
that particular scene is like
we fucking know what they're doing, so you don't really need to dwell on
Danny
it.
Warren Johnson is not playing dumb, and he's leaning into his strengths as an artist, because he's like, I don't need to tell a story of a fucking transformation. I'm telling the story in other ways, but I still got to put pen to paper, and I got to make something happen. And it does.
And he is focusing in on the details. And honestly, that's also probably a good way for him to get the art in on the deadline, is to like, you know,
no shit.
Doing all these details with, if he did like 4 or 5 panels of just that would take a miserable amount of time.
And it would be bad on us too. I mean, he might be able to put some word balloons in there, but no. Yeah. Save that space.
And that's this panel also is like a good illustration. The humans in this are not insufferable. That's something you always worry about when you like see any Transformers media. You know, there's going to be like the plucky teens that they interact with. Yeah. So far, they've been pretty engaging. I mean, there's nothing terribly deep going on here, but like
they're engaging, but they seem genuine. You know what I mean? Nothing seems out of place. Like, and I know your really only comparison, Taylor, is the movies. Shia LaBeouf
and a few of the cartoons,
playing Witwicky, and the cartoons don't count. They never had any good characterizations, there. Not until the movies, really. With what's his name, Spike's son,
Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel. But Spike and Sparkplug were fucking dog shit in the 80s series. They were terrible characterizations of those. I don't even think Beast, the Beast one had a single human being.
No, the Beast. They had some cavemen, but they were like cutaway gags.
Right.
Beast Wars and Beast Machines take place before and after
humanity.
Yeah.
But yes, again, I agree with you 100%, Taylor. The humans in this are genuine. They feel natural. This is exactly what I would be doing if I knew that alien robots had come out. I'd be going to get my piece. I'm going to go call my neighbors. We got to go kill this airplane down the street, And like, this girl's having a traumatic moment here. You know what I mean? Her dad got squished.
And I can count on Daniel Warren Johnson to do something with that, in the issues to come, where like she's got revenge on her mind now.
Exactly. And not
also dealing with the fact that she's like a squishy human who can't like go fight these things,
Yes. And there's room to grow on here, because we don't know how old these kids are. I know they were talking about college.
I bet we're going to see her join up with Joe, is what I'm getting.
Thank you. That is literally in my notes. How this page right here to me is sort of giving us like the first step of a fucking marathon storytelling with certain characters, both of the characters on this page, And I just think the way that they're doing it, again, slow burn early on with the story, but I think it's a good thing, because the payoffs later on are so full of potential that, oh man, and the action is amazing. The action is fucking great, dude. And I mean, we're talking about, the storytelling and stuff. We get dope pages like this with Cybertron in the background, and then
they are doing an amazing job building on Megatron,
dude. He's been only seen on panel twice.
They haven't said his name.
They haven't said his fucking name. Yeah.
And that also 100%. Ties in with like Daniel Warren Johnson, like he knows that we know.
Oh,
he knows that we know who Megatron is. He knows that we know like what the transformation gimmick is. So like he doesn't need to beat us over the head with it, and he can like do this slow burn stuff with Megatron being built up.
Yeah, and he's laying groundwork for other writers to do stuff too, which with the Duke and Cobra Commander.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna go check out that Duke book after his like brief stint in this book.
I mean, why wouldn't you? Okay, so yeah, very good. We'll talk again about that book briefly in a moment, of course. But here's Transformers #3 preview. Really nothing here. Outnumbered and overpowered, it's time for the Autobots to stand their ground as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Skywarp. This is on sale December 13th, y'all. I mean, this goes right after the last issue. Just perfectly done. No word balloons yet. Good. I don't want to be fucking spoiled until I get my hands on the book. But then Thunder is it Thunderbeak?
It's Laserbeak.
Laserbeak, sorry. I got Thundercracker on the mind. But oh my goodness, dude, look at this. I'm so excited. Cliff Jumper coming in. Then this dude is like, "Oh, who the fuck is this guy?" It's awesome.
They've also done a good job setting up the scenario here where, like, we can assume that Optimus could easily take any of the Decepticons one-on-one, but they're outnumbered, you know?
Exactly.
Like, they are in a desperate situation where, like, the Decepticons have a leg up on manpower right now.
And the humans. They need the humans' help, right?
Yeah,
and they're leaning into that.
They also want to help the human. Like, they have, like... Optimus has to fight with kids' gloves, right? Because he doesn't want to destroy the planet anymore.
Yeah, he don't want to step on Bambi's mom again on accident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's do top 3. Just great shit. We'll talk about it again. All right, top 3 honorable mentions. Birds of Prey #3, Superman 78, The Metal Curtain was a pretty good start. Gods #2 by Hickman. Dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm really enjoying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I fucking love it, yeah.
I have no clue what's going on. But, I mean, very easily said. Star Trek and now the Transformers Energon universe will never be retired. Transformers #2 is my #3. I adore
also my
this
#3.
issue.
I'll go ahead and make it my #3 as well, I think. Awesome. I was kind of debating in my head about what my order was going to be. But yeah, I'll put that at 3.
I had such a great time with that book. So, all right, that's all of our #3. We've already talked about it. So it's going to be a little different. Honorable mentions and #2.
Super efficient. Super efficient.
Yeah, super efficient this week.
All right, so for my 3 really good honorable mentions this week with Gods #2 was a lot of fun. I really like this this new character we've been introduced. I think her name was Maria.
Yeah.
But like
hold on, I have like this. This is my part where we're seeing Black Swan and the Black Priest.
Yeah.
That's fun, you know. But like without that familiarity.
Yeah, Hickman pulling from his own catalog here is a lot of fun, and like getting the lore of like the Centaurum and like we didn't have much of anything to do with Wynn this time, but
he was there.
He was
talking shit.
He was. I
don't like Doctor Strange in this at all. I don't want Hickman to ever write a solo Doctor Strange book ever. I don't like Doctor Strange in this at all. He comes off as the biggest prick. It probably makes sense, but
I've seen people depict Strange as a prick before. That's not out of left field.
He comes off as a prick. The Chris Bachalo, I think it was Jason Aaron run was great. What's that one that's really good by what's his name?
Mark Waid did run for a minute.
Oh yeah, Mark Waid did a really good run.
Yeah,
did a really good run. But yeah, good call outs for honorable mention. Continue. Sorry.
X-Men Red number 17 was a lot of fun.
Oh, I don't even have that loaded up. Let me see if I can find it. It was
this was a transition issue where like they were setting up like Storm. The most monumental things that happened here was that Storm did officially destroy the Uranus trigger, so she took that option off the table.
Yeah, and we knew she was going to do that. Come on.
We also see Apocalypse make his big move where he has.
I like this move with Apocalypse.
It was a cool stinger, yeah.
I love that.
So we get to see that Apocalypse is a better dad than Genesis, but not by much.
Yeah, not by much. Not by much. I thought this was a fucking inspired page. If we actually did this for our year-end shit, you know, the best page of the year.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Balls, yeah.
This is just everything, dude. It's everything. It's so good. That's Lionel Francis Yu down there.
Yeah.
On that Vulcan shot. You know what I mean? They are borrowing from just a lot of shit.
I think we got some John Byrne shit on the page there.
I know. I think that is Byrne shit, dude. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's really good shit.
It's a very psychedelic page. And then it leads to her bringing her fucking kaiju landmass here.
I know. It's too. That's in my notes, too, for this book. A kaiju. X-Men kaiju. Mutant kaiju. Let's
bring it the fuck on. So the main reason this isn't in my top 3 is because it sets up something that I want to read much more next month, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Birds of Prey was also really rad. It was really cool seeing them all kind of like go commando across Themyscira. And then Oliver tries to stall Wonder Woman, but it doesn't last terribly long, and she's here to be like the heavy, and that's really cool to see.
Yeah, this was a great shot of Big Barda doing her thing, dude. I loved that. I have more.
I also love the panel where it's like, we got 2 people who can teleport. Why the fuck are we writing a shark in?
I know.
But then they had a good reason for writing the shark
Wonder
in.
Woman.
So,
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
So they are doing a great job building up Wonder Woman to just be this fucking anvil to fall on their heads next time,
Yeah.
Okay, but so are we skipping straight to my number 2, or are we going to go back around to you with your number 2?
Do you want me to do number 2? Okay, Dave, do you want to do honorable mentions? Yeah, do your honorable mentions, and then I'll do my number 2. Great plan, Taylor. Great plan.
First
flying by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, that's how we roll. First honorable mention is Count Crowley, mediocre Midnight Monster Hunter. Just a nice little pickup from where the first volume left off. She is dealing with some trauma.
Yeah, it is a lot of trauma.
It is a lot of trauma, and also dealing with the fact that not all monsters are actually bad guys, and sometimes the monster hunters are
the bad guys. Yeah.
And Superman 78 is
great. I had a lot of fun with it.
It was very reminiscent of the Christopher Reeve Superman. Really appreciate that.
Freshly squeezed.
Yep.
Yeah, this was fun. I had a good time with that.
And my number 2 pick this week is
no. I start with number 2, and then we'll go around.
Oh,
so
sorry.
we don't get like out of
yeah. So then we're still in thing. My number 2 this week is Punisher number 1.
Also, that's my number 2.
That's your number 1. This is Dave's number 2.
Man, we are fucking blazing through this shit.
David Pepos, Dave Wachter. All right, this was. I don't even know how to explain how smooth, and that's the way I have to call it, smooth. Like, basically, this guy, Joe Garrison, loses his family in an explosion.
In a very similar fashion.
Okay, so
yes.
It's similar, but, like, different enough. Like, and that's something that we could say a lot about here is, like,
it's
similar,
very
different enough.
But it's completely different.
Yeah, he has action movie star motivation number 5. He's, like, but we have a lot of really it's like, it's a simple meal well made. We got
dude.
This opening fight scene was really badass. Apparently, the fact that his chest plate looks like a skull apparently is an unfortunate coincidence, according to him.
Yeah,
like he wasn't trying to look like
body armor. Up on that. He's not checking the mirror before leaving the house.
Yeah,
come on.
But I mean, we know that this is the Punisher book, so we of course know that he's going to look like the Punisher. But I thought that was kind of a fun touch. Is that like, I guess I do, yeah.
But he accidentally falls into being the Punisher. Yeah, he accidentally falls into being the Punisher.
Yeah,
because he's got this thing on his chest, and he's going out to seek revenge for the dude who murdered his family. But he's also wanted by the police because he's not in the rubble where his family was blown up in a bomb.
Yeah,
so he's wanted for questioning.
He is prime suspect, which
interesting take. Interesting take.
There's so many different like ingredients from different like movies and TV shows, or like this reminds me a lot of that Nobody movie that has Bob Odenkirk, where he was like he was like a wet works guy, but he's like trying to retire into his family. Only here, like his family, gets fucking murdered, and so that pulls him back in. Also, I love his, like, he gets to have cooler sci-fi weapons than normal Punisher does. Like, that's a fucking rail gun.
Yeah, and he uses it like, and he uses it in like really smart ways. Like Frank rarely is smart.
Yeah, Frank
seems like he's
is very cunning. He's very he has a lot of guile in fighting, but mostly it's just like he's such a brutal, like this relentless motherfucker,
Yeah.
Whereas here, he does get to have more of like a tactical edge to him.
Not to say that Joe Garrison here does not also have that bone in his body. He tasers Hyde's fucking eye out.
This is like he's awesome. The Shield Wetworks guy, and I loved him like shooting between the train. I loved him.
Dude,
that's a great shot.
Fucking inspired page here. Holy shit. I don't know who did more work here, Pepos or Wachter, but man, this issue was fucking dope. Another great part about this? It's basically self-fucking contained origin story.
Yeah.
but the origin story is going to continue into issue 2.
It does.
That's also kind of genius.
And I kind of stepped on it there, but you had the panel up with Hyde there. Like his fight with like Mini Hulk there was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They came up with a pretty clever way to beat him too.
Overdosed him on the mutant growth hormone.
Yep.
Yeah, with the skull
and he has
when he stabbed him in the eye. That was
right.
brutal.
Yeah, I don't have that.
One of my favorite lines in this whole book is where he's facing off with the bodyguards, and he's like, "There are 8 of you right now."
Yeah. It was really good. No, that's like action movie one-liner 101.
Yes, he is throwing out the action movie cliche one-liners, and I like that. It's fun.
I love that. I did too. Dude.
So yeah, I'm sure this book will get a lot of flack because I think in the internet age, it's probably harder to try to introduce a new version of a character.
Maybe because a lot of people are gonna bitch. But
yeah, I mean, I wonder if back in the day, if
go read the damn issue.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's good.
It makes me wonder if Danny Ketch or even Wally West had come out in the internet age, would people have stood for it, or would they have
hated Danny Ketch,
would they have echo chambered their hatred enough to the character never getting a chance? You know,
people would have hated Danny Ketch, dude. People would have hated Danny Ketch. The Sentry barely missed the mark. If the Sentry would have come out and the internet was like it is now, no, people still shit on the Sentry. But there's a lot of people who love the Sentry as well. So, awesome. That was my number 2. So Taylor's number 2 is up next.
My number 1 was that. Yeah. And so my number 2, which I'm assuming is going to be your number 1, was Batman number 139.
No. It was very good, but no.
You were talking it up so much. My mistake.
I did enjoy it a whole lot. A whole lot.
I do enjoy this back to basics Batman. I enjoyed the detective angle. I enjoyed the gritty imagery of the Joker's fucked up crime scene and everything like that.
It was beautiful. It was so classic-y Joker painting up these dolls as all his friends and his loved ones. And
I can't remember the last
Joker
time we had
rubbing it in that everybody's dead and is left. And,
I can't remember the last time we had a fun Batman dissects a crime scene thing in the comics. And the Joker showing up and just putting on this museum piece about Batman's life was a pretty effective way to start off a Joker story.
Yeah, it was awesome, dude. It was a whole lot of fun. I think I have Batman retired.
Okay.
But, yeah. No, they also pull in all the new status quo. It's almost like an issue is kind of a reset after Gotham War, but it pulls everything in that it needs to and moves us forward. A lot of editor insets in this. You want to know what he's talking about? Read this. Oh, you want to know what he's talking about? Read this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that shit. I read comics, DC and Marvel, because I want the shared universe experience. So it's really cool to be able to lean in on that with Batman again, despite the fact that he's not with the Bat family anymore. Anyway, cool. Good call out for number 2. Dave, number 2.
My number 2 is also Punisher number 1.
Yeah, that's right. All right. I think Dave and I might have the same number 1 as well. My number 1 this week is a book from Image Comics called Petrolhead.
So is mine.
It's by Rob Williams and Pied
I'm
Parr.
looking forward to this coming out in trade. This seems like big, dumb, stupid fun.
Dude, it's got some heart there, and it's trying to say some shit as well. But it's a post-apocalyptic future where robots drive race cars to distract the populace from a destructive government. That old capitalist bag. The Colosseum in Rome,
Roman Colosseum.
That sort of shit. So the rulers manipulate the races and end up killing this old robot racer, which pisses off our main character, whose name is Head. Okay. The art in this is fucking amazing.
It's a little more clean Johnson here.
It's very clean. It's very clean, dude.
But it has that Daniel Warren Johnson feel to it. But I know it's not Daniel Warren.
Yeah,
it's very clean.
So the rulers here manipulate the races, like I said. All right, but there's this human scientist and his daughter. He's created a nanobot technology that would clean up this climate apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
But those in control do not want him to heal the world. They want to keep humanity under their boot heel and in control with little things like this, okay? So they run to this robot area where
the smog zone is what they call it.
The smog zone, right? Yeah. Humans aren't allowed in the smog zone. So this dude in the lower left panel there, he's our hero. He literally gives them up. He's like, "No, I don't give a shit." And he's trying to stay out of trouble.
Because he was committing a worse offense that would get him blown up, essentially. Or terminated.
Yeah. The offense he was doing was creating this fucking race car. This rig, okay? So he's kind of like by happen chance now the caretaker of this girl and her dad with shit that he doesn't give a fuck about. He doesn't care. You know, he's got his own agenda. And I really, really like that. What I really like about this is just one panel, but this panel is like fucking moving, dude.
Mm-hmm.
The motion that is captured by artist Pi Par in this is, I haven't seen anything like it since Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider, you know, which just really blew me away. But it's also right up my alley because it's dealing with, you know, the government in control and fucking people over and people trying to help, but they're, you know, squashed from helping. And dude, Dave, go ahead. I can't rave enough about this. I was so surprised by how much I fucking love this shit.
It's how do I? Well, this robot here head is also obsolete, and the offense for building the car is because he's obsolete and builds the car. That's the offense. He's
and that's a killable offense. He could die.
Yeah.
So really, he's forced to get in the car and save these two humans who are also hanging out in his car.
His gig is up. So they've been thrown in together. So now we're going to see him. I don't exactly know what's going to go on, but you know there's the big machine. He's like, I guess he's kind of like the equivalent of the Supreme Intelligence that's ruling these dome cities.
Yeah, the O. They call him the O.
I guess he's like omnipresent or omnipotent or whatever.
That's another thing about this book. It really does take advantage of a lot of tropes in fun to let you know that these motherfuckers are bad people. You know.
Yeah, but they're Taylor, have you seen The Creator?
Yeah, I did.
There's elements of like The Creator in here where we have like a human AI
savior,
robot
savior.
society mixed it together, and you know there are it's the first issue. A lot goes on in the first issue, but we are in for pretty good ride.
I think so too, man. Yeah, very impressive. And the art, man, I want to see more art like that because now they're kind of like on a road trip and running away. You know, it's going to be some chase shit going on. So, Petrol number one, my number one. Dave, it was your number one as well.
My number one,
and then Taylor's number one was Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a great week of comics. There was a lot of other shit, dude. We mentioned Gods, you know, but Defiant number one come out this week. X-Force was okay, you know, but yeah, just some really, really, really good, man. We're lucky this week. So awesome. That's us, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We really, really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing, check out what the Bullies are doing. Leroy and Eli are going to do a show tonight on these channels and others. Maybe not the Twitch, but find links to everything they got going on over at outrightgeekery.com. That's also got links to everything that we've got going on, all the audios, videos, socials, everything you would need, including the group. No bullying in the group. Yeah, go to outrightgeeker.com. Check out the Facebook group. Andy's over there keeping things awesome all the time. Come back tomorrow night. We're doing the preview show. We're talking about all the comic books coming out this week. I haven't even really looked, so
I'm not even on the show tomorrow, but I have looked.
Right. So yeah, come back tomorrow. We would really appreciate it. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. But most of all, thanks to these guys for hanging out with this guy.
That's always fun.
Good times.
We are gonna do it. It is all good time. We are gonna do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Oh, it's not playing. There it goes. Dang. Dave always covered.
Really drawing out the L on that.